Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're zooming in and focusing in on a very important topic that I feel you will find very insightful, very illuminating, and very poignant and crucial for your healing. And that is to grow in your awareness, to grow in your consciousness, to grow in your cognitions. Your cognitions are your thoughts, and they're connected also to your emotions. The thoughts are basically the language of your mind, and the emotions are the language of your body. So you have feelings, which are the neurochemicals which are sent into the nervous system, which is throughout the body. Can sense touch, can sense soft, can sense rough, silky, etc. And it can sense hot and cold. But you also have emotions. Emotions are the feeling center of the body. It is connected to positive and negative and a whole host of variety of sensations. It's really quite an amazing aspect of the human being. And if we look at the emotions, which are the feelings, which are either positive, happy, blissful, flowing and free, and strong and empowered, if we look at really the state of emotions or the state of feelings when it comes to how a narcissist or a malignant narcissist, a psychopath, how do they take advantage of another's feelings, cognitions, behaviors, and get them to become under the control and command of what it is that they want? How do they achieve this? Who do they take advantage of? And it is namely taking advantage of this very human feeling, emotional side, which their targets will present to them in abundance. So the people who they seek out are the very emotional, sensitive, feeling creatures. The people who want to help others. People who want to do well. They have a desire to nurture. They have a desire to take care of others. It's a feel-good reward for them. Now, the psychopath does not experience this whatsoever. And the narcissist also, to very little degree, do they have a feeling that they want to take care of others. They are not approaching life at large or others in their relationship with the same perspective, with this same desire, with the same drive, with the same need. They have more of a need to surround themselves with others who will reflect back to them how wonderful they are, but to the deficit of doing the same to that person with whom they are with. So it creates very much an imbalance in the relationship. So why do they take advantage of others? Because they're able, through their narcissistic needs, which are out of balance in their personality, it's like having a toothache. They constantly are operating out of that pain and that insatiable desire to control and have others take care of them, basically. So if they will target and then surround themselves with people who have a desire to take care of others, to give affection, to make them meals, to ask them how their day was, to be the one with a listening ear, a kind heart, a kind deed, making them the dinners, going above and beyond, giving them the back rubs, giving them the massages, going and doing their errands, pumping their gas, planning their trips, taking that leader role. But the role oftentimes is one that creates a dependency where then it creates a cyclical nature where then the individual who is targeted, their happiness is based on satisfying the narcissistic needs of this individual. So then the relationship is born. The wounding and perpetual wounding is born. The individual who is then targeted is determining their self-worth based on the appreciation and then the positive regard for them. In other words, what a great back rub you gave. What a great affection you gave me. What a great meal you made me. It's all about how much you took care of me, but they don't always say that. There's not always the acknowledgement, the reciprocity. if they do, it's more just a superficial, without sort of having that real appreciation and gratitude for you and validation, like, wow, you're a great cook, you're a great mother, you're a great father, you really are a great listener. Like they're not really apt to validate others in that way, because again, it takes away from their spotlight, it takes away from their superiority, and they don't really have that empathy. They don't really get where your needs are. So when they then create this interlocking of dependency, those individuals who are targeted also have a real need to have a sense of certainty and security with this person. In other words, the security is caught up in this person versus in themselves. So their security or experience in the relationship is controlled by the other person. And so that needs to be flipped around. That needs to be switched. Your security and feeling of being okay and being whole and being independent and being fulfilled needs to be self-generating. It needs to be within you so you can take it wherever you go. It's not caught up and ensnared and entangled in this one narcissist. But the narcissist will definitely want everybody else to believe otherwise and will keep the narcissistic wheel spinning. People call it the flying monkeys. They will surround themselves with the flying monkeys who will go and do, their work. It's a very interesting example, but if you look at it really that, it's almost like, people, it's just a very one-directional, and oftentimes you can see that the individuals who get then caught up with it, want to maintain that sense of security that they feel is embedded in that person or all within that person and not within themselves. So they're agreeing to feeling less than. So in other words, that becomes part of the cuteness, or maybe part of the relationship. You're so much better than me might be expressed in so many words. You might be into giving them the taking care of them, can be emotionally taking care of them as well. You're going to do a great job. You might have, they might have hooked you through a sob story of some sort. It's very, very common where these individuals will get you basically, feeling sorry for them. And then they attract people, I call them basically the fixer-uppers, the people who have a lot of emotional wounds or baggage. And then here you come along, being the type of person who likes to take care of others, and wow, it's like you've met your soulmate. You like to take what I like to give. And then basically giving you begin, and then you just keep giving, but then eventually, without you even seeing it, this individual is then controlling your behaviors. Flipping around, why don't you get my back? Why don't you get my car? Why don't you do this? And then you're taking a submissive role. And oftentimes people, in the beginning of the relationship, they say, well, this is going to work. I think I like this. I feel valued by this person. But the self-valuation is not intact. They don't have the same experience of having that independence, autonomy, asking for what they need, or standing up for their voice. They might feel shut out a lot of times by trying to become more submissive in order to keep the relationship going. And so oftentimes there is times, it is that which is taken advantage of. So your strengths can be taken advantage of. So you have to be wary of that and be cautious and learn to only dole it out in specific amounts. And once you know that this person has empathy and is not operating out of a blown out sense of narcissistic superiority, which again, it's like the person has a constant toothache. Their ego is constantly wounded, so they constantly need that surrounding of others who will remind them of how wonderful they are and kind of, always speak to how great their business is, whatever it is that they always are feeding them. They're always feeding them the supply, and that's not a sustainable relationship. It's not emotionally sustainable, ecologically sustainable. You need to be able to have your own healthy narcissistic needs met, which means having your voice, your true feelings, and not feeling fearful for being shut down, criticized, or taken advantage of time and time again. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos, that they do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.